Hello. Right. The removal of women's bodybuilding at the Arnold Classic to be replaced with pole fitness. In other words, pole dancing. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen some of these routines. They are incredibly acrobatic and they do require quite a high level of strength and fitness. So I'm not knocking the girls that do this shit, but it ain't fucking bodybuilding. You know, we have few international bodybuilding shows. We have few real dedicated bodybuilding events. So, what the fuck? If you want to put it in, put it in. But to remove female bodybuilding? So what's these girls supposed to do now? Oh, hang on a minute. You know, I've dedicated my life to this sport. I'm quite a bit larger than the average woman. I already have to deal with the stigma of being called a man and all the rest of the shite that comes with that. And now you're telling me that I've got nowhere to show my wares and nowhere to compete. So why the fuck did I do this? What are these girls supposed to do? Just dumped? You know, out of all the things that bodybuilders put themselves through, female bodybuilding has the hardest ride. Men, we're just becoming more male. So, yeah, we get jealous comments, roid head and all this sort of shit. But, by the by, we do not have to put up with the social stigma that women do. And for all their hard work, they're rewarded with, tell you what, fuck off, we're putting a lot of bints on a pole instead. It's a joke. What? It's a sellout. I mean, it's commercialism. And right, yeah, money's important, but come on. The bloody show makes enough money to support female bodybuilding as well. Why dump it? You know, what's wrong? Leave it in. If you want to stick pole bimbos in, then stick them in. But leave the bodybuilding a fucking alone, for God's sake. It's a bodybuilding show. Little bit irate, as you can tell. While we're on the subject, I was going to do this a few weeks ago, never got round to it because I wasn't well, flu or cold, whatever you want to fucking call it. Anyway, classic bodybuilding is now known as Olympic bodybuilding. Oh, who didn't see that coming? And it's going to be included in the Olympic program. Now, this, from what I can gather, does not mean the Olympic Games itself. It means some of the associated events. So, these athletes are for intent and purposes. And I'm not getting into the old athletes and using drugs at the Olympics bollocks, because it's a never-ending thing. But for all intents and purposes, and they're deflated awards to the public, will be naturals. Now, naturals have had the shitty end of the stick for a long time when it came to financial support, and it's unfair. They work as hard as anybody else, and just because they're not huge chemical freaks does not mean they don't warrant the support and accolades that come with their physique. So, you know, I'm all for them having a good platform in which to show their wares. However, supplement companies have always had to hide that their athletes use steroids. It's always been one of them things, you don't talk about it, you can't tell them you do it, you get big off our products, not because of them. Well, now they have an athlete that can genuinely say they've achieved their physique through their products. Now, the pros are safe, the big, the freaks, there's always going to be a market for them. But what's going to happen to the amateur-assisted bodybuilder? I can just see them not getting any financial support at all. You know, amateur bodybuilders have supported these federations day in, day out, year in, year out for years. And now they get dumped for a bigger prize money, for money. And it is money. There's no other reason for this apart from money. It's not for the health of the sport. It's not for the good of the sport. It's to generate more income. What about us poor bastards that have propped you up for the last fucking 20 years? What about us? Are we just going to be dropped by the wayside because we're no longer commercially viable? It's fucking ridiculous. And Ricardo Correa refused his pro card initially on grounds of immigration or nationality. Now because of another matter. Right, let's cut to the chase. He did some porn shit, all right? No big deal. He washed a fucking car, for God's sake, with his knob hanging out. Who cares? The kid's a bloody good bodybuilder. He's good for the sport. He's a good figurehead. And he's got potential. And he works damn hard. I don't give a flying fuck what he does in his private time. I don't give a monkey's left testicle if he slept with his granny. It's not relevant. It doesn't matter. But what's even dirtier about one is, well, at least have the nuts to come up and say, look, we're not doing it because of this, instead of making these bullshit excuses. If the initial refusal was genuinely down to nationality, then why the fuck was he allowed to win 2 British, and I repeat, British titles and represent this company at the Arnold Europe? Because surely his nationality should have been a fucking issue then. And also, then why over 4 weeks ago did they approach Dave Titterton to support him for his pro card application? Can't help thinking USN have a hand in this. For a lot of money at UK BFF for this shows. Now that might be shooting way off the mark here, and I might be talking a load of bollocks. But there is no second place in the overall. You only judge and place the winner. So why is Dave being approached? Now, greatest respect for Dave. Don't really know the guy. Only met him a couple of times, but when I've met him, pleasant, professional, lovely guy. But that doesn't mean he should have a pro card. He didn't win, he didn't earn it, simple as. So there's no pro card as far as I'm concerned. If you're not going to give it Ricardo, you give it nobody. And then, this is the other thing, and this is hard for Dave, and I do feel for him on this one. That guy's wanted his pro card for years. You know, there's no denying it. All the top guys in the relative fields want their pro card. So you're now giving it him, but what a way to give it him at the sacrifice of somebody else. It's a load of bollocks as far as I'm concerned, the whole fucking lot. Pole dancing is bullshit, should not be in a bodybuilding show, and if you're going to put it in there, fine, put it in there, but do not replace female bodybuilding with it. Those girls work hard and should have a platform to show their wares. Classic, Olympic, whatever you want to fucking call it, Jesus. I really do think this is the beginning of a big change, and I do think it's never going to be the same. I really do. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what the result's going to be, but I just don't think it's ever going to be the same. And for fuck's sake, give Ricardo his pro card. The fucker earned it.